Welcome back to a brand new Friday Fright review. This time it's going to be an early Valentine's Day gift, My Bloody Valentine Remake. The classic Canadian cult horror film of My Bloody Valentine had a remake in the late 2000s. In terms of horror remakes, I think this one gets overlooked a lot. It does borrow from a lot of the same concepts as the original film. Based in a small mining town, a man by the name of Harry Warden goes on a rampage on Valentine's Day. The cops in the town think they track Harry Warden down to a certain spot and actually kill him. The cops only released the name of who actually killed people back then, and it was Harry Warden. They didn't let his death place go, which was just not too far from the mining place where they tracked him down to. Some of the kids that happened to be in the events of the original slashing are now grown up, and it's now 10 or so years later, and these people come back to the town, or some are actually still at the town. And it just so happens when a certain person comes back in town, the events of Harry Warden picks up again on Valentine's Day, or just before Valentine's Day. Out of all the horror remakes we've gotten over the last 20 years or so, I think My Bloody Valentine stands the test of time. Yes, the original My Bloody Valentine is an original concept. It's awesome. It's a fun slasher based in an underground mine, and has this really cool idea of basing it around Valentine's in the vein of Halloween and other films that tend to pick a certain date and base the slasher around it. Not only do I pop in the original My Bloody Valentine around Valentine's Day, I also pop in the remake, because the remake is a fun slasher film, which I believe personally a lot of the horror remakes tend to leave out. The fun aspect of a slasher film. Yes, a slasher film needs gore and certain aspects, but I think the fun element of slashers tend to get overlooked a lot of the times when people go to do remakes of a horror film. Jensen Ackles from the Supernatural series is actually in this film and does a fantastic job. One of my favorite scenes in this film is the grocery store slasher cutdown, I like to call it. Harry Warden is back and he's inside the grocery store and he's slashing prices. But it just so happens these prices are actually human beings. I think it does get a lot of flack over the years for being more of a rip-off of the original, but I think they did a fantastic job of paying homage to the original and giving a brand new horror film its due. And let's not get started by Mojo himself, Tom Atkins. Man, is there a film that Tom Atkins cannot do right? Tom Atkins is the guy that everyone wants to be. I think Tom does a fantastic job in this film. He plays the sheriff type cop in the town, old school veteran who actually shot Harry. I think there's a very fantastic job done with some of the cinematography and the way that they did some scenes, especially in the mines, and how they played off Harry Warden while they were down in the actual mines itself. I think it's not a very generic cut and paste type slasher remake. Like I said in my initial part of this review, I do believe this stands the test of time 7 years or so, how many years after. Guys, if you have not seen My Bloody Valentine Remake, I highly recommend you do. Valentine's Day is only 2 days away, so I really recommend you go out and pick yourself up a copy, because any excuse to watch Harry Warden slash people up with an axe is a great time. I'm going to give this remake a 4 out of 5. I think it does have its flaws, mostly with the pacing of the film itself. I think sometimes it slows down in certain spots. And yes, personally, I did see the twist coming before the end of the film, but I do believe the twist still pays off in the way that the director and everyone was hoping that it would. So with some minor gripes, I'm just going to give it a 4 out of 5 because I do believe it is a fun film, it is a great slasher, and it is a great remake that pays homage to the original My Bloody Valentine. Anyway guys, I really hope you enjoyed my review. Stay tuned for next Friday when I have another Friday Fright Flick review. And as always guys, take care and stay frosty.